Hey everyone, welcome back to the studio, and today I'm here with a brand new video for you guys. I'm going to be breaking down the Riverdale Season 7, the final season trailer. It dropped today. I was at school. I was actually leaving for lunch, and I was watching it on my way um, to my car. And I was very shocked, and I still am at some of the stuff happening in this trailer. So yeah, I've already watched it, so I can't do an honest reaction. So I just thought I would watch there right now. I have it pulled up on my phone and just like break it down because again, there's a lot going on in this trailer. It's actually longer than I thought it would be. It runs for a minute and 35 seconds total, and that's longer than they usually go, which I think is pretty cool. But yeah, I'm just gonna run through this, talk about some of the highlights. There's a lot of good stuff. So okay, here we go. So it starts out with a jukebox playing. We see people putting in for a song, and we see people dancing and pops. Jughead's on sitting at a table writing, and he says the year was 1955. Um, and he kind of is talking to the gang, and he says that they got sent back into time. Um, we see him explaining to everyone about this. It looks like he's talking to Archie, Tony, Cheryl, Betty, and Kevin. Um, and they're all like just talking, and because he's the only one who knows that they're still there. Um, that there's memories that exist before this. We have. So it looks like I see a lot of people talking online about this. It looks like Betty and Archie were really going to be getting that boy next door, that girl next door, that whole vibe going on, which I think is pretty cool because it kind of just goes back to season one with that whole theme, and I really like that. Um, and again, this whole trailer I think is really Archie Comics vibe, and I really do enjoy that because that's really the root of this show, and it sucks they really didn't do more with it. Archie, doesn't want to go back, which is understandable. He just doesn't like change. We've seen it throughout the course of the show that that's just one of his personality traits. We see Betty and Kevin hooking up in a car, and I kind of already knew that there would be something going on between these two because it's something RAS posted on his Instagram page of them two in a car together, and this is that scene. But I think this has got to be some sort of beard situation. Although I just don't know because it seems like there's like a genuine relationship here because she says they're at like some sort of like dance, and she says I want Kevin to want me. So is this like a real relationship? Because there's got to be some genuinity to it, and I think it actually probably is genuine. Um, but it's just still like a bit of a weird setup. But I think it could definitely be a beard situation because we know in the 1950s Kevin and Cheryl would both have some issues. So I think part of this whole situation, and we'll get into Archie and Cheryl in a second, is to deal with that they can't show their sexuality. So this is how they're showing it. But there's probably more to it because it's Riverdale. I don't know if Riverdale will actually tackle the situation good, but at least there's some continuity, and they're not just acting like Kevin and Cheryl and all that would be fine in the 1950s because it's different. It's accepted very much differently back then, and I just know because it's common sense. But we see him like looking at this character, and I'm pretty sure this is the character they announced a few months back, Clay Walker, and he's a gay character too. And him and Kevin had a relationship in the comics, so I'm pretty sure that that's him, and they're gonna bring him back and set up some sort of relationship there, like a longing, and hopefully by the end of this whole arc, Kevin will come out of the closet, and I hope Cheryl will too, and I think that's what we're gonna get. It just might take a little while. So we have Veronica, and she's a Hollywood star. She's a celebrity, and she's moving to Riverdale. Whatever arc we get here, I'm not sure, but it looks like she's driving into town, and it looks like the person driving the car is one of the other new characters announced. I think his name was Julian. It was Julian Blossom. So I guess this is gonna be Cheryl's brother, and it looks like there's gonna be might be some sort of relationship there, or he's just gonna try to impress her. Obviously she's gonna get a lot of attention at school for being a movie star. I mean, Archie's immediately interested. I don't think it's gonna be. I mean, I think we're gonna get the Archie, Betty, and Veronica love triangle for sure, or a version of it. However, I don't think it's going to be as heavy as some people might like it to be because we know RAS doesn't like it very much. He doesn't like all of the love triangles and all that because the show really hasn't had many of those, to be honest, which is surprising for being a teen show. But that's Veronica's storyline. And then we see Archie and Cheryl, and I kind of already knew there would be something going on with them too. And Betty asks, "You guys are getting married." So whatever that means, I don't know. It could be a beard situation, but it could also just be they're both redheads, so it just people look up to them, if that makes sense, which would make sense too. But I don't know. I don't know if these are supposed to be genuine relationships we're supposed to connect with. I mean, obviously a lot of people online are upset about this, but I guess it makes sense as to why this would even be a thing in the 50s. It makes sense, but it's still weird to see Archie call her Mrs. Blossom. And they're in high school. I don't know how it worked back then with marriage, but again, it's still weird. It's the final season. It's still hard to believe. This show's come a long way. We see Betty putting on hairspray, which I guess is probably because of how her hair is styled. The musical's probably going to be Hairspray, but I'm not 100% sure. Um, and we see a shot of like someone's like fingers trapped in somewhere, and like banging on a door. We don't know who that is, but obviously someone's like caught. Um, and we see like a basketball scrimmage, and we see it looks like Dilton Doily. I assume that's him, but I'm not 100% sure. It looks like he's going to be back, and he's on the basketball team, but he's covered in blood. So I assume these are all going to tie back into the memories and be able to get them back to present day. But we're because it is the final season, we're going to be seeing a lot of people show up on the way. So that's going to be pretty exciting. Um, and we see this whole so, so, so we have an orgy going on with all of these couples. I'm gonna try to see. It kind of goes really fast. This so we see. It looks like Veronica and that Julian guy and Cheryl and Tony, Kevin and Clay, um, Archie and Cheryl, and Betty and Archie. So there's this whole situation going on. It's very fast, and it's very explicit. That's for sure. I don't. Yeah. So I don't know what comes up with this whole orgy idea. I don't know. I have no idea. I don't even have a guess. It could be something Cheryl comes up with. I don't know, but it's not surprising though. Okay. Veronica and Jughead. This was the one I had no idea was happening. I had no idea there would be any sort of relationship between the two. I had hoped they would have scenes together, but they kiss, and I get this final season is gonna be a ton of fan service. I would say Jughead and Veronica probably have more of a following than Archie and Cheryl and Betty and Kevin, which makes sense. I don't personally ship them. I think they could have. I think they have good chemistry as like that opposites attract in a friendship business way. We saw that in season 6 when they were running business at the the speakeasy thing for the magic show. We saw that, and I thought they had good chemistry there. I just don't think they have romantic chemistry. But what I'm confused about is if he must have lost the memories, because there's no way he would be kissing Veronica if he knows that he has like a relationship with Tabitha. There's just no way. So he must lose all of his memories at some point, and he would have to if we're gonna get an interesting story. We can't. I mean, sure, we could see that struggle, but then he can't kiss Veronica unless this is just. Again, it's Riverdale, so I don't know, but I assume he would have to lose his memories at some point. But again, I'm just not sure what's going on. But no, to the kiss there. Again, shocking. I was not expecting that. We see like Tony doing like a dance and Cheryl's watching, so obviously that plays the Shoney stands. We see Warden Norton is back, and he's from season 3. He was like the jail runner, and it looks like he's gonna be the principal here. So that's very interesting. I assume Jughead would catch on to that if it's earlier on. He says things like this don't happen in Riverdale. So I assume what happens. So Riverdale, I assume, and this is going to be displayed as a perfect town, which would make sense. Um, and what starts happening. So this is going to be like all over again, like season 1. It was displayed as a perfect town until Jason Blossom's murder, and then people would ask these type of questions. So I assume that's what's happening here. We see Jughead punching out. It looks like that Julian dude, Veronica's there. So I hope there's not like a little love triangle there, but there very well could be. I'm surprised it's no Archie punching him out. The fact that it's Jughead is actually more interesting, but we'll see what happens there. We see it looks like someone is going to cut Archie up. We see like a saw coming his way. Theory I saw online is that this is Betty and Veronica, and it's possible that he might play them both. I don't know. We'll see. Something happens there, and we saw on RAS's Instagram because we saw like Archie cut in half, and Betty holding the bottom half of Veronica holding the top half of him, something like that. I don't know. That was interesting, but that's very possible as to who's cutting him up. But it could also just be like a random bad guy. We don't know. Um, and then we see Ethel, and she's covered in blood. And she says something terrible just happened. So are we? I'm trying to think. What did I don't remember if anything happened to Ethel at the school. She's still alive in present day, right? In Riverdale. Yeah, she is. She's in Riverdale too. We haven't seen her in the actual Riverdale universe though since like season 4, I think. But she's still alive. But she's in this, and obviously something's happening to her. And we see Betty on the ground, and she's having some sort of like foam coming out of her mouth. And as we remember back in season 3, there was that whole farm storyline with the Sisters of the Quiet Mercy, and that whole thing happened. So something connected to the seizures, but her hair is in that hairspray thing. So I assume, or no, I mean it does look like that, but it could also be that. I think that's that outfit she was wearing for the dance, actually. So just something happens. It's crazy. And we see a shot of Cheryl stopping like trying to stop the comet. So I assume we'll go back to that at some point. I don't know when in the season that'll happen, but I assume they're still going to leave a good amount of time for the characters' stories to take place after this whole thing. We see a random person blowing out a candle. I have no idea who that is, and I'm going to guess. I assume it's something connected to Cheryl just because it looked that way. And Veronica, what did she say? I can't tell. I have to play this back again. Um, Trust me, nothing is ever going to be the same again. I don't know who she's talking to, but Veronica always has these one-liners to like end off a promo. It's just funny. And Jughead says, "Looks awesome" to Tabitha, and he says, "Swell." So we don't see much of Tabitha in this trailer, but I guess we'll see. Looks like maybe they'll be key to bringing everyone back. Those two. So overall, it looks good. Some crazy stuff with the whole Archie and Cheryl, Betty and Kevin. But I think that it just reminds me so much of the Archie comics, and that's what I love about it. Comment down below. What do you think of the trailer? Are you excited? I'm pretty excited. We'll see. I hope they don't mess it up. There's a lot of potential here that I see. So yeah, again, hopefully they don't screw it up. Coming up, a few videos I have coming up. I'm going to be trying to record a review of The Mandalorian Season 3 with my dad, Episode 1, and we both like that episode a lot, so I think we'll cover it. And then Outer Banks, I'll definitely have more reviews of that out, so that's going to be what I'm going to focus on right now, and then if more stuff. But I'm definitely going to be back, hopefully full-time, fingers crossed. So anyways, comment down below what you think of the Riverdale trailer. Comment down below what you want to see on my channel. Like, comment, subscribe, turn on those post notifications, and bye everyone.